Hello and welcome to Chess Please, and today I'm going to share with you 3 games which I've just finished playing live on camera. And initially I didn't really have too much of a plan of what I was going to do, just play some chess and see what happens. And we ended up playing 3 very interesting games with the same opponent, and I kind of classify this the good, the bad and the ugly, not necessarily in that order, and you'll see why when we get through the games. Some good play, some incredibly sloppy play, and some pretty lucky play, and overall a great time. Enjoy the games. Alright, today we're going to play a simple game of chess. I'm going to go back to our e4 method here, why not? We're going to go with our Vienna game. It's been a while, been favouring the Collie system, been favouring the Stonewall, a few other openings like that, but the Vienna still remains probably the one that I have played the most. And I think when we are learning some new openings at the moment, Stonewall among them. And sometimes when you're learning a new opening, you tend to take a little bit of a hit on the rating front. So we are down 1747 at the moment. Probably this time last month we were in the just creeping into the 1900s. So probably time to mix it up a little, just to get a few wins under the belt, a little bit of confidence back, and see what we can do. Okay, they've taken the knight. We're going to take that with the queen. And we are getting ready to develop here. I think I will take that space. Still need to get castled. Our bishop will probably live here. I think that makes most sense for that bishop. This bishop might even live here. And then we get castled. We'll probably get castled before we develop the other bishop. Interesting times now. Interesting times indeed. And few different places we can go. I do like here because it actually secretly puts the pressure back on the knight. The knight can come out here and that's fine. Yeah, let's do this for now. I don't want to block in this bishop because we do want to get castled. This knight can go out to the doldrums out here. It's going to be a while before they get their bishop in a position to maybe take advantage of this pin, such as it is, so I think we're okay. Just warming up, just getting the feelers back, getting the brain turned on. That can take a few minutes every single time. I do recommend playing a few puzzles before you start jumping in. See, look, we thought it might happen. They did forget about the knight. Did they? Who knows? But in either case, I'm not above taking a knight when it's offered so freely. Not that easy to get ourselves out of here. Yeah, I want to be careful of rook here. That's a definite one to keep an eye on. Actually, it's not, because we will just take that rook. So, is that true? Is that all accurate? I think it might be. We're going to put a bit of squeeze on here. And look, if they trade pieces, they trade pieces. That actually drops this pawn. Just because we're up a pawn, or we're up a knight, doesn't mean you can fall asleep at the wheel. We are in a little bit of a precarious position. I am going to take that opportunity. I think it actually is worth losing this pawn for now to keep our castling rights and to actually get castled. And actually now it doesn't even lose this pawn because bishop can't really go anywhere. So ultimately, I think we've gotten away with one there. That does seem like one that if we were to go back and check the analysis, which we might do after the game, that was a little bit littered with mistakes by both of us, and that's okay. Right. I think we can just take this for free. Again, this pawn, I don't really mind. I don't think it's doing a huge pile. I think we can do this. No, we can't do that, Andrew. The rook's just going to come. I was like, oh, we'll come in here. So they'll just drop back. It's nothing. Nothing, and we're back on square footing. At least we can keep equalized. Maybe that was maybe they're also seeing the same ghost I am. No, of course they wouldn't. Why would they? Dreadful play. And this happens sometimes. You just saw a ghost. Just saw a ghost. Mm-hmm. Very, very strange. Very strange play. Strange maneuver. We're gonna do this. Immediate pressure here, which is nice. All is not lost, but all is not well either. And I wonder. Okay, we're gonna put the pressure on here. Let's check. So that's okay. Bishop out here, I think, is next. Bishop here might be useful. Gonna be very useful right now. Gonna keep our nose clean here. It's a messy, messy game. It's a messy game. Who knows if it'll see the light of day, but maybe there'll be something bombastic. But yeah, give a blunder, take a blunder. That's the chess please way. We got to get over that. We got to get over that. Maybe a temptation just to start hammering up here. Induce a little softness there. Also, one to just double these. It's fine, but it's not great. It's not a plan. That's interesting. I think we can defend and attack with this. We might come in here. But we definitely do want to stop this. Queen in here actually is menacing, yeah. Very menacing indeed. And we'll do this firstly, because we got to defend this. Though that doesn't do that. No. They can just take this, take this. Now it's not a ghost, because they can take. Okay. Okay, got let off the hook there a little, I think. They could have just taken the bishop if they wanted. A sloppy game. Sloppy game. That's okay for now. Queen is looking less and less impactful here. Little slide ball over here could be okay. This pawn's quite weak. The luft for the king wouldn't go awry. It's all a bit interesting. It's all just a little too interesting for my liking. We will make a little bit of luft. Just a little breathing room here. Bishop could switch back here potentially. Huh. Do this. Keeping an eye on this, but we also have our threats. And you can't just always, you can't defend everything every time. Sometimes you just gotta push your own agenda. Whether that time is now or not is that's immaterial. That's not for me to say. I wouldn't want to know. But between the jigs and the reels, we're somehow not lost after some really sleepy play. Sleepy Joe at the wheel here. But hey, that's showbiz, baby. That's comedy. Yep, okay. We'll do that. We're gonna go absolutely barmy. We are technically a pawn up. But the reckoning comes. The reckoning comes very quickly. And most assuredly. That's really threatening, but could be something like that. This now? That's okay. I think it's all gravy. We do have a nice little, like if we were to be very scary, that could be something that's quite scary. Not really. We're gonna retract that statement. Although, nah, it's not great. It's defendable, very defendable. Probably not that way. Probably this way. The idea being bang, check, or probably check with the queen actually. Okay. What about this? So this, you're getting a block with the rook. We go back here. King takes. It's nothing. Ooh, yeah, no, it's nothing. Okay. We start with that. No, that's also nothing. Okay. So we can rule that out. That was a fun idea, but I think block with the rook or the queen is just enough. It's all too delicate. This is interesting. Yeah, let's do that for now. Keep this in the pocket should either of these fall asleep at the wheel, because the king actually has nowhere to go. So if they don't have this square locked up or this diagonal locked up in some way, shape, or form, that queen move is a checkmate. So let's not be too afraid here. Nicely, this defends this, this defends this, this defends this, this defends this, this defends this one. So it's a good coordination, I would say. We are up on the clock as well, so not to be sniffed at. up to our opponent to prove their worth. This now actually does become pretty interesting. Because then you've got to defend that twice. Not sure what that does. It's that. I think this is going to be interesting actually as well. Because it does sort of secretly threaten mate here. In a couple of ways. There's a few different ways we can get to that square. So they might try to block here. We can mate there. Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. That even opens up the door for this, maybe. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? And that's not that easy to stop. Not that easy to stop. King in here seems... Yeah, that seems absolutely fine. Let's do this for now. Force the trade. Again, use our time advantage. That a drawing position is probably going to favour us because there's a lot of material to clear off before a checkmate happens. So we're going to take here. That's fine by me. Shouldn't have been fine. Should not have been fine by me. But that's okay too. There. It's not checkmate, so that's good too. Curious. Curiouser and curiouser. A little bit of a waiting move. A little bit of a waiting move. Don't mind that. I bet another one for you. That's interesting. For a couple of reasons. Just pivot there to make sure we are covering the infiltration square. Queen here, don't really mind so much. Though I probably should. Well, okay. Well, sir. Yeah. Okay. So if we hit this square and cover that square, that's the only way we can do that. So that's not going to happen. But we can do this over the rook as well. I'm going to do this, strangely. We've got 10 seconds left. That's not ideal for them, I would say. We've got 58. Let's push here. Don't know why. We're super exposed. Yeah, that's trouble. Trouble and troubling. Let's do this for some reason. That's also good. Okay. Can they do this? They've got 2 seconds. They got to keep on going. Oh, we didn't take. That's fine. We'll check. We'll try to cheese them. We've cheesed them. It's a cheese sandwich. one of the sloppiest games with one of the sloppiest endings. That's what you get here. That is what you get. Okay, here we go. We are playing a 10-minute game with the black pieces. Let's see what our opponent can cook up. We're going to do a little Sicilian action here. I've been having a lot of joy with the Sicilian. Always tried and true. It's not one I've really varied from. This is the Alpin, which is what we play against the Sicilian. And sometimes we do this and then this. Sometimes we just go straight away with this. I think it is just straight away with this, and you capture back with the queen. This can get a little hairy, so bear with us. And please forgive any glaring mistakes we make. But we can just play mindfully and try not to make mistakes. That's always the goal, not always the result. Bishop there, I think that's okay. I think we can just continue to develop. There's again another instinct to do this. Let's get our knight out. Not going to regret that move. Bishop takes, that's fine. And actually, I don't mind this. Let's keep this knight under lock and key. Or force his bishop back. Either way, that's okay with me. Yeah, that's fine. Now we got to be careful of where this knight goes. He's not going to hit the queen, as we know. He's one diagonal square away, so that's 4 moves before he actually hits the queen. So the queen's not in any jeopardy, but the discovery is a jeopardy jeopardy precursor. Let's go e4, I think, is going to be the way. E5 I should have said. E6 is possible. I'm kind of worried about like getting our queen a little hemmed in the middle of the board, but I actually think she's got plenty of places to go. Let's get a little bit more aggressive with E5. Claim some of the center. That's okay. Gets their bishop out and about. We're going to do the same here. That's fine. You see what I mean about the queen here? She's a little whoopsie woo way woo. In fact, very whoopsie woo way woo. But I think we can, like, after this. So for example, yes, after this, we go here. Then the knight comes around here, which is actually okay. We can just drop the queen back. Queen and the rook, or and the knight defend the bishop. They've got some really weird stuff going on. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Because of the double defense of this bishop, the discovery isn't so bad, and we can remain in contact there. We could castle. Castle's always safe, but this is really nice. That is really nice. I think if we can take that way, like if they go for something like this, we can take there. Put a little squeeze on the knight. It's a complicated one. It's a very classical kind of opening here. Oftentimes what you get with the Sicilian, a lot of piece play, a lot of bishops and knights involved in the early doors, and a lot of them traded off in ways like this. Again, we're not worried about that discovery because we've got 2 defenders. This queen isn't overly needed for anything over here. This knight can jam himself in there, which is going to be a really nice square for him. So that's something to be wary of. So maybe we take with the queen here first, then we take with the knight after this all happens, so that we can revert the knight back here. Rook here is interesting too. I think at that stage we just trade. Oh, no. That's very interesting, actually. Although it's not really. It's not. Because we just castle. We just castle. This is still not a threat that we need to worry about. This is a threat. And even, I think, rook in or knight in there, I would take here. Okay, that's a good maneuver here. At this point, I am tempted to take. I'm tempted to take the bishop, just snap that off. Queen takes, castles. We let him take the bishop here, that's fine. We've got a nice little center. It's a bit of a grindy endgame, but we can live with it. We can live with it. Actually, we don't need to. We don't need to because... No, we do need to because this is check. I was thinking we could take in the meantime, but we can't. Yeah, let's snap that off. Let's just put an end to these foolish ambitions. There's a world where he takes here first, or takes here. That's what you might do. Because it is check. We have to respond to that. Then you can take back with check. That's a nice little play. Our opponent, Anatoly from Ukraine, is 1715 rated. We are 1754. We've been higher, we've been lower. That's good news that they did not take. I think we're going to take with the knight here as well, just because we want to keep this bishop for a little bit longer. And that knight had a very good square. I would even, if they take with the queen, okay, they didn't take with the queen. Oh, music to our ears. Both ways, I think I was happy with how that was going to shake down. And again, it's very even here, nothing too crazy, but like, this is a huge advantage. We can get a nice little pawn chain going here. Don't want to get hemmed in with like a push there, but it's very hard to stop that. So what about this? This is interesting. Again, our light square weakness that we're creating here. Not that worried about it. Not that worried about it. They don't even have a light squared bishop. So it's really just the queens sharing the weakness together. See, now what I think I'm going to do is this. Because I don't see a great way of defending that. Wow. That's not bad, actually. Yeah, not bad. Pushing's no good. They just push and they have the asset that we have. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna see what they have to say for themselves after this. Maybe they'll choke and they'll push anyway. Feeling pretty drawish, which isn't to say that it's going to be a draw. More just that the computer would probably comfortably be able to draw this. Gonna do something a little crazy, which is bishop back here. This is really where this bishop is going to live. I don't see it needing to intervene on any of these behalves. And if it does, it can do so. But I kind of want to get my queen off of this file. Or perhaps even like this. We'll see what that does. Just seems interesting. Because then there's this too. It's not a world-beating move. But it's interesting. Rook here also an interesting move. Preparing to push. Taking a leaf out of their book and doubling. Now, one thing we need to calculate. Push. So if they take, we take. So they can't take. If they push, we take. They take. Nothing really doing there. We don't want to push here just yet. But I think we can take our sweet time and just double up. They're probably going to do the same. Yeah. This does feel very drawish. Queen here, again, becomes interesting. Because technically prepares a push, but it secretly attacks there. That's interesting. That's very interesting to me. I think I'm very happy to have my bishop there. Look at this, hands across America. Can't ask for more than that. Is it actually good? Who's to say? That's not what we're about here. Now we're going to prepare this push. Although it's not a very defensible push. Ah, it kind of is. That's not too bad. We can just shift our focus down here. And eventually they might have to get one rook here. And we can just do that. It's possible. It's very possible. It's immediately possible. First we need to do this. Yeah, we might have lost this pawn. Definitely got a little jittery there. Jiggery pokery. So we might just want to infiltrate here just to make it a little hairy. Though I think, as I say, we didn't play that one great. Yeah, no, it's interesting. It's a real shame. It's a real shame. Let's see if we can't claim back our pawn over here. That's crafty enough. Not that crafty. Kind of just pretty poor. Pretty poor play across the board here. Okay, that's fine. The strange way we got a little greedy. We did overextend. We had the ultimate fortress. They would probably be wise just to trade everything off here. Although then we pick up the bishop at the end, and we have managed to claim a lot of pawns here, so Not sure that is wise. This is a strange, for how simple and very mechanical this game has been. It's been deceptively complicated, I would say. Sometimes when you get down to this few pieces and bishops of the same color, it can be a little drosh. It can be a little like definitive in terms of you can defend everything and they can defend everything and you can't attack anything that they can't defend. But in this case, it just shook down that there was just enough sort of porousness, I would say. That's interesting too. They've seen that they were probably going to get a little bit murked if they did decide to trade everything off, and they've willingly given back the bishop, which is good because there's that. And there's this. This is obviously very dangerous. This is check. It's extremely dangerous. So they're going with that one first. Probably not a bad idea. Probably not a bad idea. Except for this. Stopping the queen, delivering the check. Pinning the queen. That was okay. That was a little something something. Okay. Not out of the woods by any stretch. We can take the queen. King takes. Rook comes here. And we just start to push. It's a plan. It's a plan. It's better than what we had a few minutes ago. Bush. We've got 58 seconds. I think they needed to keep bringing the king there. I think they needed to keep bringing the king. I think that's going to be tough to stop. And it's going to be check. We've got 57 seconds. Can we pull this off? Wild game. Wild game. Very enjoyable. Really like chess. That's check. Surely that's going to be it, ref. Pin him. Keep the pin. Would be resignable, but with this low time, I do not begrudge my opponent playing on. Nor do I ever begrudge my opponent playing on. Why would I? We signed up to this amount of time. Bang. Ladder mate, baby. When in doubt, ladder it out. There it is. Whew! Very fun game, have to say. I'm not going to give him a rematch. We already played a game before this, so actually, let's go one more. Okay, we have the white pieces here. Let's see. This has been a sloppy series, but hey, we've gotten 2 wins. One from an absolute cheeseball time win at the end. So my opponent's got to be fuming about that. Then we played we blinked first in a very close dark squared bishop game. We blinked first, but then they didn't look after their back pocket. We picked their pocket. We're gonna play our collie system now. And hopefully get ourselves a clean hat-trick of wins against our dear Anatoly here. It can be time to push. I'm going to throw this one in. Interesting. Playing the collie system against a long castled king. Not something I'm super familiar with. On an initial preface, it doesn't really change the arithmetic for me. I think we can still take charge of the E file, open up our pieces. That's just a wonderful square for the knight, isn't it? Not opposed to an early checkmate threat. Maybe this was a little foolhardy, but let's go like this. We've drawn out the weakness. I don't have to drop the hammer on move 12 or whatever it was. Knight backwards, trade off that knight, that's fine. Hit the queen, that's fine too. And ideally, if we free up that square for our bishop, I'd be very happy with how this opening has gone. And if we can get this bishop here, well then we really are laughing. We can... Interesting. I guess we just trade off queens here and take our medicine. Although I don't mind if they open up things. Here's what we'll do. We're going to trade this one off. If they trade queens, that's fair. There's nothing we can do. And we're happy enough with this open file against their king. They don't trade off queens. Okay, they did. Great. Perfect. That's absolutely fine by me. I think we have the lion's share of play. I see, I don't really mind that. Generally, you don't want to open up the king, and they're going to open up here. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's not as scary as it would have been if there were queens still on the board. Not to diminish the importance of your structure and everything like that. That's a bummer. That's a real bummer. I think we just drop back the bishop, swallow this pawn loss. Yeah, I think so. Do this. You know what's interesting though? What could be very interesting is this. Oof. Does it work? I think at the very least, I don't think they're getting that pawn back. It's hectic. Love this tactic. The idea being, if they take, okay, that's not bad. But it's not good either, because we can just do this anyhow. That becomes all the more perilous, one might say. But also just taken here and remained at peace. I don't think there's a way out. I think they've just blocked themselves in here. I think that is a very nice way to win this series. Let's find out. Let's find out. First game, we were very sleepy. I'll hold my hands up. We got on the stream. We were sleepy as all get out. Made some silly mistakes. Mightn't have been the best viewing. Second game, we were a little bit sharper, a little bit better. Let's win the game first before we start talking in self-mythologizing. But this looks real nice. I think we have won it because I don't know where you go after this, pal. That's checkmate. Good stuff. Good stuff. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Really like that knight move, or the rook move at the end. Listen, for my own ego, I'm going to take a little peek to see if they gave me the brilliancy. They did give me the brilliancy. I think we know which move it was for. Yada, yada, yada. This we were able to find. Oh, as soon as the knight moved, bosh. So again, just to go through that a bit more, if they did take, then you bring the rook across, and they come here, and because of the bishop, you can do this, and you're cruising. So that's why that is a brilliancy. We did it. We did it. Hurrah. Great time. Great time had by all. Great time had by me. Not so much my opponent. I think we farmed a good 30 elo off them over those 3 games. And we needed them because we've been on a real slump. So we're back into the 1760s. On our way up. We're always looking to charge for that 2000 elo mountain. But anyway, have a great one. Enjoy your chess. Thank you for stopping by. Feel free to subscribe and stick around for more chess. And have a great day. Cheers.